So I hope you're not going to do what one of my clients asked me today when it comes to follow-up call with her potential coaching client. She's someone she's spoken to said they needed some time to think about it. She booked a call and they're about to get back on the other call. She said, "Hey, Colin, what do I do? Do I get on there and say, okay, have you decided?" No, that's not what you do. In this video, I'll share with you a framework, so a step-by-step process that I've used to close a couple $1 million in coaching, not only for myself, but also for my clients who I've been selling coaching for quite a few years. And one of the things that how I sell coaching is in a way that's authentic to me and a way that serves people in a powerful way. So that's what we'll talk about in this video, how to do that on your follow-up call. Now, many times you have a first call, right? You do a first sales call or sales coaching call. However, you enroll people in conversations, and the person said, "Hey, I can't make the decision right now. I need to consider it. I need to think about it." And you go through, there's an entire video I can do about how to handle that. But you did go through and you booked the call, right? You said, okay, let's schedule a follow-up call, like my client did when she messaged me. She did schedule a follow-up call. And her question, as I mentioned, was how do I handle that follow-up call? So I'll walk you through that process right now, how to handle that follow-up call. And it's someone, again, everything is step by step, right? And as you think about it, is a way you want to be treat people the way you want to be treated. So here's a couple things. First off, you want to get ready for the call, which may sound obvious, but not a lot of people get ready for the call. What does that mean? It's going back to whatever notes you've taken from the first call, right? To get yourself familiar with that person and their situation. What is it specifically they were going through? What pains and challenges, what goals and desires, what have they tried before? What was the exact reason that they wanted to get back to you and on a follow-up call? So become very familiar with yourself again with those things. The second thing is find a reason to like them. Think about something. What do I like about this person? What would be cool about working with this person, right? It just changes your energy. And get on the call with and the third thing is get on the call expecting for them to say yes and enroll, right? That's the mindset you want as you get into that call. Now, as you get onto the call, they do show up. And there's some strategies in between there and how to get them to show up. Make sure you follow up, confirm the time, and make sure they show up. And a lot of times I let clients know, either way you decide, let's still have the call, right? Because some people may say, well, I'm not going to move forward, but let's cancel the time, or they'll give you another reason. I said, either way, I have you on the calendar, show up. Now, when the person show up on the call, it's basically the same things you would want to do on a coaching session or a sales call. You want to build some rapport, really connect with them, get to understand what's going on in their world right now, and building rapport don't have to be small talk, but you want to be able to connect with something that you're genuinely interested in, especially if you've had a call with them before. There's maybe one or two nuggets that they've mentioned, right? Like some Easter eggs they've mentioned, like, oh, you know what, me and the kids are doing something this weekend. So when I get back on a call, I say, hey, how's the weekend with the kids? What did you guys do? And I'll just pick up on that. But again, you want to be genuine about it. Small talk is not necessary, but again, building rapport and being warm on the call. So the next thing you want to let them know what to expect. But also you want to make sure you're taking control of that call right from the beginning, right? So you want to let them know what to expect. Okay, awesome, Colin. It's good to have you on the call. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do three things. One, I'll do a recap to make sure, a recap of our last call, just make sure I didn't miss anything while we were in that call together. The second thing I'll do is answer any questions you have. And the third is to walk you through what the next steps look like for you. Does that sound fair? Right? And listen to their feedback more. Like, yeah, that's cool. Awesome. Well, you'll jump in right off the bat. You'll do the first thing you say you're going to do. And that first thing is you want to recap the last conversation you had with them. Just give it a nice little tight summary. Hey, when last time we spoke, these are the things that you said you're looking to accomplish. These were the challenges that were getting in your way. These are the concerns you had. And you also tried these things. But ultimately, you feel a little stuck in order to accomplish this goal. And you would feel this way when these goals are accomplished. Did I recap everything correctly? Did I miss anything? That's normally what I like to ask. Many times people will say, no, you didn't miss anything. You got it. Sometimes people say, yeah, you know what? You're right. Actually, I didn't think about that. And they may expand on some of the things that you recap. And you can follow that path, right? Just stay in the conversation. Get curious about whatever it is they bring up. Yeah, you know what? You're right. You did mention that, and I was wondering. Oh, tell me more about that. And you want them to express themselves on the call. The reason also you do the recap is to bring them back present to the situation that they're experiencing, or they shared with you that they're experiencing. That recap is to bring them back present to what they desire, what is getting in their way, and why it's important for them to create change. And in that space, they're able now to make the decision to move forward or not. Most times outside of that, people are like, oh, I can push that off. But when they're in that conversation, they're present to, okay, these are things I really want to, I really want to experience and have. Let me just start thinking about what's possible. Quick sidebar and a quick story around that. Um, like you, I sell coaching, and I've done it for a long time, and I enjoy it because I think selling is one of the best things you can do, especially if you're doing it the right way. But also, coaching is another amazing profession because you make such a big difference in people. I also buy coaching services, and a couple months ago, I actually did enroll in a program just to get the fast action bonus. But when I got on the call, my intention was to not follow through, cancel, said, you know what, I don't want to do this right now. But when I got on the follow up call, how that coach served me in a powerful way and how he really tuned into what I was experiencing that day. His focus was not only recapping the first conversation that we had, right? But his focus was also say, what's going on in your world today? What are you excited about? What are you working on today? And then I was able to share with him what I'm experiencing that day. He coached me around that. I'm like in the middle of it, I'm like, nah, I'm signing up. So that's part of that whole recap and get them present to what's happening in their world right now. More than likely, between your first call and the second call, not much change. The same pain and challenges there. The only thing that may have changed is the way they're thinking, like, oh, I can't afford this, or will this work for me? Um, are they the right coach for me? Do they have the right process? Right? They're thinking those things. But you want to help them to bring that to the forefront and see how you can address that and coach them through that. So we covered the first two parts of your follow up call. Three parts actually. Get into the right state of mind. We talked about that. Preparing yourself. The second part is just building rapport and reconnecting with them based off of something possibly maybe best from the last conversation. The third thing is recapping the conversation you had with them the last time, just checking in with them to see if everything you're accurate, and it could lead to some additional conversation. Now, if it doesn't lead to additional conversation, the next question I ask, hey, since we last spoke, what else showed up for you? What other thoughts or insights you had around accomplishing this thing or these goals? And listen, usually if you have done your sales call or your coaching enrollment call, whatever you call it, right? If you've done that correctly, it leads people to, ponder and think about, wow, I need to change this. I need to fix that. So sometimes it gives them a space to process that after the call. And many times when I ask that question, people bring up things. Yeah, I never, you mentioned these few things. I never thought of that before. And it'll be exciting to explore that and work on that. And they'll go through that process with you, right? They'll go through that process of sharing that insight, that aha that they had. And again, follow that. Tell me more about that. Explore that, right? Well, what else came up for you? What else showed up for you, right? So you want to really get them present again to what are the pains and the challenges and the reasons that they wanted to get coaching in the first place. So the second part, the next part of the process after this, you've answered their questions and everything is clear there, you really want to do a few things. I recommend continue to lead the conversation by now painting what the future could look like for them when they work with you. So Colin, I was thinking about, so Colin, here's the things that we're going to work on here's the things we're going to work on during our time together. And then you outline what are the things you're going to work with them during your coaching sessions based off of the pains and the challenges and the goals that they had. So one of the things I do, and I keep it simple, and something I share my students I have a program called the Sales Coaching Gym. You come in there, we role play, and you practice your sales calls. You practice these conversations, right? There's nothing better than practicing, learning how to coach, learning how to sell, learning how to answer these questions, because it's horrible when you're doing it for the first time in front of someone, right? You're like a deer in headlights. So in there, we practice this a lot. So a simple framework I and I teach to my students and my clients is a couple of things. During coaching, there's 3 or 4 basic things you always do. One is you help people get clarity. So I'll talk to that point. Hey, as we work together, one of the things we're going to focus on is helping you get clarity when it comes to this specific thing. And what that's going to do for you is really help you create a clear path forward and minimize distractions, right? Does that sound cool? And that's what I want to engage with them, right? I'm painting the picture for them. The second thing we're going to work on, and most coaching programs do this, right? Or most coaches do this with their clients, is strategy. We're going to work on, really giving you a strategy that's customized for you. Strategies and tips that help you deal with your inner conversation, strategies and tips that will help you deal with yourself when you're on job interviews, strategies and tips that will help you show up the best version of yourself and, stay on task when you're doing these certain things. What that's going to help you do is not have to overthink the process. You're using a process and a strategy that works. Would that be helpful? So again, I'm painting the picture, I'm asking them, and while I am asking these questions, would that be helpful? They're now thinking, yeah, because I'm linking it back to the pains and the challenges that they've been experiencing, right? The third thing I always usually would say as I summarize and paint the picture of what working together would look like is the third thing we do is help you to upgrade your skills. And what that looks like is giving you access to my recorded courses, giving you access to the recordings of the sales coaching gym, giving you access to new information, because with new information now we're able to create new thoughts and think differently. And the cool thing about that is just not random information, is based off of where you are in your journey. Do you see value in that? Right? So those are at least 3 things I would normally say to paint the picture of what the future together would look like when they enroll in the program, right? Especially from the follow-up call. I'm assuming that's a yes all the way. So after I've painted the picture for them, I just check in with one question. Hey, do you have any questions before we get started? Right. I was thinking about another question. I should share that question with you. So one of the questions I was asked after I finished painting that picture of what the future looks like when we're working together. Hey, do you have any questions before we get started? And again, I'm assuming we're going to get started. I'm assuming the sale and having that conversation. And they may not have any questions, or they may have a question. And this is where you start to where they'll start to highlight what potential objections, which I look at as concerns. And as a coach, you want to coach them around those concerns, right? So that's a chance for them to bring that up. And when they bring it up, say, okay, I appreciate you sharing that. Other than that, is there anything else that would prevent you from getting started in the program tonight or today, whatever, right? So those 2 things, you want to really get clear on what the main objection is. So if the first objection is money, okay, that's a popular objection. So if the first objection is money, you acknowledge it. Okay, I appreciate you sharing that. I'm curious, other than money, is there anything else that would prevent you from getting started today? Right? And you just wait, they tell you. Usually, no, nothing else. Awesome. So if we can figure out a way forward, you're all in, you're ready to get started with coaching next week. Perfect. Awesome. So now you know what the only objection is. So from there, if there's an objection, from there you can handle an objection by presenting them with a couple options, right? The last time we spoke, you were considering this program. I told you the investment was this, the full payment was this, and the payment plans were this. Which of those choices seems to be a good fit for you right now, Colin? Right? Which of those choices seem to fit into your budget right now? And if none of the choices fit in their budget, but they want to move forward, then you can be flexible and work something out with them if that's what you choose to. There's a client you want to work with. Now, that's if they have an objection. Now, if they don't have an objection after, painting what the future would look like, you say, hey, do you have any questions? They have no questions. Again, I'm assuming it's so awesome. So what we're going to do next is get you started. I look for the first date on my calendar, so we're going to get started. And look at your calendar, let me know when. Are you available for next Friday or tomorrow at 4:00 for our first session? You just, again, assuming the sale and you move forward. And that's the first thing I always do. So the first thing I always do is get them committed to the next step. And the next step is booking a coaching call. right? Yeah, some people say the next step is the payment, but no, I'm making it real. Coaching sometimes seems to be a little abstract to people sometimes, right? So make it real. Okay, okay, awesome. So nothing else but getting your way. No other questions. Perfect. So let's get you scheduled for your first call, your first session tomorrow or Thursday at 2 p.m. Which one works best for you? Perfect. You bring your calendar up. You start getting that, set up. You know that, or you just make a note of it, right? Awesome. So great. Perfect. In addition to that, what I'll do is send you a welcome email. In the welcome email, we'll have this form, this thing, this resource, and a bonus link to a bonus course or whatever you're offering. Again, you're telling them what the next steps are. And then I come to payment after that, right? Because again, they're saying yes, yes to that, they're enrolled. And then I would just go, oh, perfect. So which card are you going to use to get started? Which card are you using to get started? Again, I'm assuming it. They give you, okay, I'll use my Visa card. Again, I pause there. This is something I learned from a mentor, Scott DeMullen. He says, pause and just congratulations, man, making a wise decision. How do you feel? Coaching together will help you in your life, in your business over the next 6 to 12 months. And you pause and you let them tell you how it's going to feel. You let them live into that experience. And then you go ahead, process the payment. You process the payment, send your welcome email, confirm the appointment time, and you move forward from there. So that's a little structure on how you can do a follow-up call when you're closing, a follow-up call when you're closing sales for your coaching program, or you're just closing sales in general. You can use that structure. Most of the people I help are coaches and people who are selling coaching or consulting services. So that's the way I frame it that way. Now, if you like this, definitely follow the channel. Leave a comment below if you have a question or you need some clarification that's specific to your situation. I'll be happy to answer that. You can find me over at colinyearwood.com. In the description, we'll have some links to some other resources that I'll put there either now or sometime in the future. Let's stay connected. You take care.